Today on Sugar Spun Run, I'll be showing you how to make chicken pot pie soup. Hey Sugar Spun Bakers, Sam here, and today I am so excited to be sharing another carefully tested, well-researched, and perfected recipe. This is essentially a soup version of my classic favorite pot pie recipe that I've previously shared. It's super hearty and it's really simple and quick, especially considering you don't have to roll out a pie crust or make biscuits to prepare it or anything like that. Today's recipe is made entirely in one pot on the stovetop, so grab yourself a large Dutch oven and let's begin. Now the first thing we need is 1/3 cup of unsalted butter. 1/3 cup of butter is also 5 1/3 tablespoons. Should be marked right on your label. We're going to cook this over medium heat until the butter is completely melted. All right, once that butter is melted, we are going to add 1 chopped yellow onion. This is a medium-sized yellow onion. It's usually about 1 cup if you're looking for a more precise measurement. We're going to cook this until the onion is softened. This usually takes just about 5 minutes, maybe a little less. And in case you are wondering, no, I do not use garlic in this recipe. I love garlic, but it is intentional here. I feel chicken pot pie, if you add garlic, it sort of takes away from the other fresh flavors of the dish. And to me, chicken pot pie just doesn't have garlic in it. It never has. So I really prefer it this way. And I think you will too. All right, to thicken this soup, give it a little bit of body, we are next going to add 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. Now I'm just going to sprinkle this over the onions and the butter, and I'm going to stir this until all of the flour is absorbed. Once all of my flour is absorbed, I will add a teaspoon of salt. Just to start, we may need to add more later. 3/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper, a 1/2 teaspoon of smoked paprika, which is kind of my secret ingredient for the soup. It really adds a nice depth of flavor. A 1/2 teaspoon of dry ground mustard, and an 1/8 teaspoon, or sometimes I'll do a heaping 1/8 teaspoon of dried thyme. Now stir these spices in, and I like to give them a second to cook. This helps bloom the spices, everything should be nice and fragrant, and then we can add our next ingredient. That is chicken broth. You'll need 4 cups of chicken broth. Shake this before I add it. And we are going to slowly drizzle this into the soup while we are stirring. So go ahead. You can really smell those spices. And you want to add this slowly instead of all at once, because we are going to be incorporating it slowly and gradually with that flour. This is what's going to give our soup the proper body. If we add it all at once, it can kind of separate from the flour. It won't look as nice, it won't be as smooth. So just have a little bit of patience and keep on stirring. See, I added some. I like to see everything come together and not look lumpy from the flour. And once it's smooth, I'll add more. And again, it'll look a little separated and lumpy. Just stir. Once it's smooth, add more. I find once I've added about half of the broth, then I can go a little bit faster because it's stabilized itself pretty nicely by that point. So immediately following the chicken broth, I am going to be adding 2 cups of whole milk. This is going to give the soup just that perfect touch of creaminess. Again, I'm adding this gradually, but not quite as gradually as we had to do with the broth. All right, I'll turn the heat up just a little bit above medium, and now I'm going to bring this to a boil. I will stir everything occasionally, but I want to have it boiling before I add my next bit of ingredients. All right, next we are going to add our potatoes. I have 1 pound of gold potatoes. I did not peel them. You can if you want, but these have a very thin skin, so I don't find it to be necessary. And I've cut these into about 1/2 inch pieces. I'm going to carefully, try not to splash myself, and add these into the pot. And I am also going to add 2 1/2 cups of frozen mixed vegetables. And then, even though we just added the frozen veggies, I also like to add some fresh carrots. This is 2 fresh carrots cut into coin shapes. I'd say it's a little shy of a cup of carrots, maybe like 2/3 cup really. We'll stir everything together, and we are going to bring this to a boil, and we'll cook until the potatoes are tender when pierced with a fork. Let's take a look. So my potatoes are looking pretty good, so now I'll add my chicken. I have about 3 1/2 cups of shredded chicken right here. I just picked over a rotisserie chicken. I find 1 chicken is usually just the right amount for me. Now, if you would like to use raw chicken, like chicken breasts and thighs instead, I will include notes in my blog post on how to do that. Now at this point, there's one last thing to do, and that is a taste test. You always want to taste the soup, and if it feels lacking, you can add a little bit more salt or pepper, just to help the flavor along. That is pretty good, but your mileage may vary depending on the exact amount of salt in each of your ingredients, like your stock or even your rotisserie chicken. We're just going to now warm the soup, let everything simmer for about 10 or 15 minutes until the chicken is cooked through. Then we can go ahead and serve. All right, lunchtime for me. And that is how you make my favorite chicken pot pie soup. It's really hot, so I'm gonna set that down. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's recipe, and if you try this one, please leave me a comment and let me know what you think. I always love hearing from you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. All right. It's hot, but it's really good.